Hello and welcome everyone to the Orange County Clerk of Court's Legal Matters Digest. Today's topic, traffic tickets and payment plans made simple. I'm Dane Weister, the Communications Director for the Orange County Clerk of Courts. Thank you for joining us. We hope the information you receive here is helpful to you today. Now, first, we will have presentations on traffic tickets, the types, options to resolve them, and details on how you can get on a payment plan and get that driver's license reinstated if it is suspended. At the end of those presentations, then we're going to answer all those typical frequently asked questions we receive from the community. Now, I'd like to introduce you to your Orange County Clerk of Courts, Tiffany Moore Russell. Tiffany.
Thank you, Dane, and hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. We know this is a timely and crucial topic to discuss in today's environment. This webinar discussion will take an in-depth look at traffic tickets, payment plans, and all your options to help provide you with information regarding your legal rights. Recently, the Florida legislature passed several new traffic laws. One called the super speeder law makes excessive speeding a criminal offense and not just a civil infraction, and you can be arrested. Also, now legislation has authorized the use of cameras in school zones to catch excessive speeders, and more counties and municipalities are using those cameras in school zones. This form will give you more information about all of this and how to resolve a traffic case. One of my office's strategic outreach goals is to provide better access to justice. I personally created these legal forms for the public to help make legal information easier to understand and more accessible. These forms are designed to not only give our citizens more access to justice, but also access to the information they have the right to know. So I want to take the time and acknowledge my staff who have worked very hard to bring this webinar to fruition, as well as acknowledge our panelists who are with us today. For my office, we have Operations Manager Latanya Adamson, Assistant Manager Michelle McKinney from our Traffic Division. And from our Compliance Division, we have Manager Jacqueline Parkhurst and Assistant Manager Jennifer Giles. And from the Ninth Judicial Circuit, we have the Honorable Judge Eric Dubois to share with you the judicial perspective from the bench. So thank you all for taking time to be with us today and to share this very valuable legal information. And to our audience, I hope this forum provides valuable information. So thank you for joining us, and back to you, Dave.
Okay, thank you, Clerk Russell. So without further ado, let us just jump right into the heart of our legal forum digest. First up, let me introduce to you Latanya Adamson and Michelle McKinney. Latanya is the operations manager of our traffic division. Ms. Adamson joined the clerk's office 3 years ago, bringing with her 22 years of management experience to include court systems, legal compliance, corrections, child support, and family services. Michelle is an operations assistant manager in the traffic division, and she's held this role for over 6 years, where she oversees the daily operations of the trial clerks and deputy clerks for civil and criminal traffic infraction cases. Latanya and Michelle, take it away.
Thanks, Dean. So should you receive a traffic ticket, it will fall into one of two categories, civil or criminal. The most common infractions that we see here in traffic on the civil side are speeding less than 30 miles per hour over the speed limit, no valid registration, expired driver's license, tolls, red light, parking, school bus camera, and school zone speeding. I'd also like to note that speeding more than 30 miles per hour over the limit will require court mandatory appearance. The second category is our criminal side. And with that, you have driving under the influence, driving while license suspended with knowledge, leaving the scene of the accident with injuries, and speeding 50 miles an hour over the limit or going 100 miles per hour. So now that you have a ticket, you have three options. You have the opportunity to pay the ticket in full, produce and dispose, or contest the citation. Let's explore each option in more detail. If you decide you want to pay the ticket in full, you will need to make the payment within 30 days of the issuance of the citation. In doing so, it will result in a plea of not guilty, And you have the option to elect to participate in traffic school, but that must be selected at the time of payment. Please note that you only are permitted to select traffic school one time per year and no more than 8 times in a lifetime. Adjudication will be withheld and no points will be assessed to your license. Lastly, the clerk's office does offer payment plans, and that will be discussed more detail later in this presentation. If your ticket is due to failure to provide a driver's license, a registration, or insurance at the time of the traffic stop, you have the ability to produce and dispose. You will simply need to provide proof of the valid item, the driver's license, registration, or insurance. Excuse me. And it's important to note that in order to take advantage of this option, the license, registration, or insurance must be valid at the time that the citation is issued. You can provide that proof either in person at any one of our locations, via mail, or via our website. Should you obtain a license, registration, or insurance after the date of the citation, you will still need to provide a proof that it is now valid. However, the citation must be paid in full. Additionally, there is a $10 dismissal fee.
Thanks, LaTanya. So you've got your citation and you want to contest it instead of paying it, or the other options that LaTanya was talking about. You do have the ability to file a not guilty plea. Not guilty plea forms are available on our website at myorangeclerk.com. The form is on this slide so you can see what it looks like. We do require that each person completes the entire form, giving your current information, including an email address and a telephone number. Once that is done, that form can be filed with the clerk's office, and you can do that in person at any of our locations or online. Once you've completed that information and filed it with the clerk's office, then our office will schedule a virtual hearing for you. Virtual hearings are held Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. You can opt for an in-person hearing. However, the in-person hearings are done at one of our branch locations. So it would either be in Winter Park or Apopka, and those hearings are scheduled based upon availability. So it could take a little bit longer to get an in-person hearing versus a virtual hearing. Now, if you do file this plea of not guilty after 30 days, there could be a late fee assessed to your case. That late fee does need to be paid in order to stop a license suspension, even though you have filed the not guilty plea. Another option that we have would be a conditional plea of no contest. This form is also available on myorangeclerk.com. The one thing about a conditional plea of no contest, you must file a plea of not guilty first. So this conditional plea option is not available until after you have filed a plea of not guilty and certain requirements are met. You must also complete this form with all the information that's asked. And this is your current information, just like the plea of not guilty form. You file it with the clerk's office, and again, you can do it online or any of our locations. If the conditional plea is accepted, this would be a withhold of adjudication of guilt. So what does that mean for you? What that means is there's no guilty on your driving record. So there would be no points assessed. This form does need to be accepted by the court. That's why it has to be filed. So you'll actually have a judge or a hearing officer reviewing this conditional plea of no contest. The one other nice thing about this, not only does it not go on your driving record, you don't have the points, but we also give you a little bit more time to pay. So instead of the 30 days to pay, you're actually getting 120 days to pay. In some instances, depending on the charge, the court may require that a driver improvement school be taken in addition to the conditional plea of no contest. If this conditional plea of no contest is for a citation that involves no proof of valid documentation, such as the driver's license, a registration, a valid insurance. So this would be not that it was valid at the time, but you did receive a valid driver's license, registration, or insurance after you received the citation. You can actually attach those documents to this form when you're filing to show it to the court. So what happens if the court doesn't accept the conditional plea? Well, then our office will set you for a virtual hearing, and you'll get a notice in the mail at the address that you have listed on your form. Now, you're not required to make any kind of statement with this form, even though it does have a section for a statement, but you can do that, as well as attach any documentation that you would find relevant to pleading your case. Just keep in mind, if you do attach any documentation, all documentation is public. So be careful you're not attaching any sensitive documents, such as social security numbers, attaching a copy of your driving record, anything like that. You don't want that to be public. Now, let's say you don't want to do a conditional plea. You've done a plea of not guilty, but you were not the person driving the vehicle and you receive a red light camera citation. We do have an affidavit denying responsibility. But again, this is only for red light camera citations. And why do we have it only for red light camera citations? Because those citations are actually issued to the registered vehicle of the owner that goes through the red light. This form is available on our website under myorangeclerk.com. Again, all information must be completed on this form, and it needs to be filed with our office. Again, it can be online or any of our branch offices. A virtual hearing may be scheduled once this affidavit is submitted to go over the case. This is an affidavit. So if you are not filing it in person at one of our branch locations or our main office, it must be signed in front of a notary public. This is a legal document, so it has to be sworn to in front of a notary. If you were not driving the car, but there is another person that will accept responsibility for driving the vehicle, and again, this is for red light camera citations only, we do have an affidavit acknowledging responsibility. Again, this form is available on myorangeclerk.com. All information must be completed by the person who is driving the vehicle. It does need to be filed with the clerk's office after all the information is completed. A virtual hearing will be scheduled, and the affidavit, it will be used in place of testimony of the person who was driving. Again, this is an affidavit, it's a legal document. So if it's not being filed in one of our offices by the driver of the vehicle at the time the citation was issued, it must be signed in front of a notary. And then I think, LaTanya, that brings you to, oh, I'm sorry, that's mine. So what if a citation cannot be contested? If you're told you can't do a plea of not guilty, what are some of the things that will prohibit you from contesting the citation? The first thing is the citation's already been paid in full. So if you've already paid that citation, that guilty plea has already been sent to FLH SMV, the state of Florida. So you no longer have the ability to contest it. What if you have made a school election? So you haven't paid the citation yet, but you've elected the school, you're going to take the school. You cannot contest the citation after you've made that election. If you already have an existing payment plan with the clerk's office and you ask for a new citation to be added to that existing payment plan, it no longer becomes eligible to be contested. And if you've asked for an extension of time to pay the citation, we do offer an extension for a $4 fee, and you get an additional 30 days to pay. If you've done that or elected to take an school extension, which is you've made the election for the school, and you need a little extra time to take the school, you no longer are eligible to contest the citation. So now what happens if it is not a civil infraction where it's just a payable ticket? What if it's a criminal traffic infraction? Well, there are two options for you. All criminal citations require an in-person arraignment. We have arraignments at our branch locations, and then we have them in our downtown office 3 days a week. So every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The date and time of your arraignment will be on the citation that you receive, or if you're arrested, it will be included on your bond paperwork. All arraignments give you the opportunity to be seen before a judge. And at that time, you'll be given options by the judge as to what you can do to proceed forward. Some of those options are you can plead right then and there to the citation. The judge can also give you more time, or the judge can appoint an attorney to represent you if you cannot afford one. If you can afford an attorney and you have one that represents you, your attorney will file a plea of not guilty and waiver of arraignment on your behalf. That means that you no longer have to appear on the date and time on your citation or on your bond paperwork. Your attorney will then represent you in this case. The case will then be set for what's called a pretrial conference for a future date. And that's where your attorney will go in and discuss with the judge what options are available and if you'll be going to trial. Again, if you have an attorney, you do not need to appear for arraignment. The attorney will do that on your behalf. And then once you hire an attorney, it's very important to remember that all communication with the clerk of court's office and the judge go through your attorney from that point on. So you can actually go online and look at your case, but if you want to file anything or tell us anything about the case, that needs to go through your attorney. And now, LaTanya, I think it's back to you.
Thanks, Michelle. So should you need to contact the clerk's office, you have a couple of options available. Aside from visiting us at one of our branch locations, you can actually reach the traffic division at myorangeclerk.com by selecting at the bottom, you'll see traffic for the branches and for downtown center. Once you select make that selection, you'll see this form pop up. You'll fill it out completely, giving us as much detail as possible so that we're able to research your case and be able to address your questions. With that, we have a turnaround time of approximately 48 to 72 hours, maybe a little longer, provided if it's holidays or weekends. But just know, if you reach out to us, you only have to send it once because we're going to make sure to respond. You also have the opportunity, if you want to speak with a live person, to call our call center. The number is listed, 407-836-2000, option 1. And I'd like to thank you on behalf of the traffic team, which is myself, LaTanya Adamson, the operations manager, Michelle McKinney, one of our operations assistant managers, and Tamika Brown, the operations assistant manager.
Okay, thank you, ladies. Yes, great job. We have a lot of traffic cases, so they get to those as they can work them, and we hope this has been helpful. So now that we talked about all these different traffic citations, etc., let's talk about payment plan options and all that is related to that. Now we have our clerk of courts from the clerk of courts here, Jacqueline Parkhurst and Jennifer Giles, that are up next to present for us. Jacqueline is the operations manager of the compliance division with over 17 years of experience working in the court system. She has extensive work history in various clerk divisions, including our family division, traffic, and also our call center. Jennifer Giles has been with the Orange County Clerk of Courts for 25 years, and she has gained a vast amount of knowledge by working multiple divisions to include our records management, juvenile division, call center, family services. Jennifer Giles is currently the operations assistant manager in the compliance division. Welcome, Jacqueline and Jennifer.
Awesome. Thank you, Dane, for the introduction. First, we wanted to share with you an overview of what the Compliance Division offers. We are a centralized payment center for all traffic and criminal-related needs, including payment plans and other payment arrangements. You can submit letters and correspondence that will be forwarded to the judges and hearing officials for review. We assist customers virtually through our website at www.myorangeclerk.com. We will discuss the process on how to do this later in our presentation. We also clear and issue suspensions as well as monitor cases for compliance.
So to go over a little bit about our payment plans, we offer affordable year-round payment plans. We do this for both multi and single case plans. The down payment is $100 or 10%, whichever is less. There will be a one-time $25 administrative fee that you will pay at the beginning of your plan. Your monthly obligation will be set at $25 a month until paid in full. But please note, we will combine all your traffic and criminal-related cases into one plan with flexibility, monthly due dates that can meet your needs. You can also establish a payment plan in person or online through our website at myorangeclerk.com. We will discuss details on how to do this later in our presentation. And also effective October 2024, we are no longer adding juvenile cases to any payment plans.
Acceptable payment methods. We accept cash, cashier's check, personal check, money order, and credit cards at all our locations. Checks and money orders can be made out to Orange County Clerk of Courts. We currently do not accept Apple Pay or other similar payment methods. Payments can be made in person, by mail, or through AMSCOT, or at myorangeclerk.com.
Restitution can be added to a payment plan, but please note, all restitution must be paid through cash, cashier's check, or money order only. Restitution cannot be paid via our website or by credit card.
We work with a variety of nonprofit organizations to assist customers with their outstanding fines and fees. Currently, we are working with both the jail and state prisons with the help of these nonprofit organizations to provide support. In addition, every year we facilitate Operation Greenlight, which is a driver's license reinstatement event where we work with you on getting your driver's license valid to get you back on the road safely.
If you do find yourself with a collection agency because you defaulted a payment plan or failed to meet payment obligations, you will be assigned to one of the three collection agencies: FH Can, Alliance One, Linebarger, Goggin, and Sampson. Each of the agencies have on-site representatives that can assist you with making a payment or an affordable payment arrangement. They can also assist you via the phone number and website information provided on the screen. But please note, they will also communicate with you via mail, text messaging, or phone calls.
If your driver's license is suspended and you need a hardship license to drive to essential activities like work, school, medical appointments, etc., please visit your local DMV office for assistance. They will determine your eligibility requirements and be able to assist you further.
And if you would like to contact us virtually, please visit myorangeclerk.com, select Contact Us, and click Compliance. This page can assist you with case inquiries, filings, and is also where you can request a payment plan.
Once you select Contact Us and proceed to this page, you can complete the information and submit. Please feel free to include any attachments. A member of our team will reach out to you within 48 to 72 business hours, and that does exclude holidays.
And again, if you do prefer to speak with a call center representative, please call 407-836-2000 and select option 1. We have also listed the current members of the leadership in the compliance division. Manager is Jacqueline Parkhurst, Assistant Manager Jennifer Giles, and Operations Support Coordinator Ebony Wiggins.
There are 4 different clerk office locations that can assist you with everything we've discussed today. These locations include downtown, Apopka, Ocoee, and our newly modeled and relocated Winter Park location. Our downtown location is open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., while our branch offices are open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
All right. Very good. Thank you. Yes, and all of our locations can assist you. One thing I'd like to point out is unfortunately, we cannot take payments over the phone. So if you call our call center, that is not something we're able to do. So one of our locations or online or all the ways, and also how all the different ways that these ladies spoke about. So, and Operation Greenlight, just want to mention real quick, you don't have to wait for that. And we will get into that as we get into some of our questions coming up. So, but before we get to those frequently asked questions, up next is the Honorable Judge Eric Dubois, and he has details on the court process when it comes to traffic citations. And we appreciate the Honorable Judge Dubois joining us. So, Judge Dubois, thank you for taking time.
Great. Thank you, Dane. Thanks for that introduction. It's great to be here once again with the clerk's office, providing this very valuable experience for our constituents here in Orange County. I'm Judge Eric Dubois. As Dane mentioned, I'm here to talk to you about the difference between civil traffic citations, criminal traffic citations, and what your options are should you be presented with either option. First, the most common type of traffic ticket are the civil traffic infractions. Those are speeding, expired tag, your registration's expired, your driver's license is expired, you have toll violations, your e-pass, your SunPass wasn't registering and you got a notification from the Expressway Authority or SunPass that you have toll violations, or you got caught by a red light camera, or you got a parking ticket from the city or another municipality here in Orange County. Those are all civil traffic infractions. Those will not result in any jail time, with one exception. The speeding, we now have what's called a super speeder law, and that takes a normal speeding ticket if you're going more than 50 miles an hour over the speed limit outside of a civil traffic infraction and makes it a criminal offense. But we'll talk about that more in a minute. So let's talk about the most common things, speeding. Unfortunately, some of us get distracted and we get caught speeding, and a law enforcement officer will pull us over. And that's what they call probable cause to stop us. And they'll either stop us by using radar, laser, or pacing us. Those speeding tickets can add points to your driver's license. And if you get so many points, 12 points or more, so many points within a certain time frame, your driver's license could become suspended. So it's very important to read the ticket and also know what's going on. So these civil traffic infractions like speeding, registration, driver's license expired, tolls, red light cameras usually appear before what's called a traffic hearing officer. That's an attorney appointed by the Chief Judge of the Ninth Judicial Circuit to serve as a hearing officer or a pseudo judge to hear these cases and resolve these cases and enter fines, put you on payment plans, or you go to driving school. They have the same authority that a sitting county court judge would have. They're just not elected by the people of Orange County, and they're appointed by the chief judge. So very often, they can order you to go to driving school. As a judge, we can order you to go to driving school as many times as we see fit. As an individual, you can only elect to go to driving school 5 times in your entire life. And if you elect to go to driving school, you've got to be careful because sometimes you may, when you go to the clerk's office and pay your fine, assess points on your driver's license that could then trigger higher insurance costs or also cause you to become your license to be suspended or become what's called a habitual traffic offender. The best way to handle expired registration, driver's license expired, is we love to see people that are proactive. You were put on notice, your car's registration has expired, Go to the DMV and re-register your vehicle if you can. Get it registered and bring us proof of that registration. I can't guarantee anything, but odds are you'll have a much better outcome when you come to court. Same thing with driver's license expired. If your driver's license has expired, get it renewed. Go get it validated, bring us a copy of your new driver's license, and make sure that you pay your reinstatement fee and take care of all that. And then you'll probably have a much better outcome. Tolls, red light cameras, and parking tickets are all dealt with by traffic hearing officers, and very rarely will you come before a county court judge on those types of matters. Those are civil traffic infractions. A criminal traffic infraction is something like a charge of driving under the influence, or driving while license suspended or revoked with knowledge, or leaving the scene of an accident with injuries. You'll know the difference if you're issued a criminal traffic citation or a civil traffic citation, because on the bottom of the ticket, it will say court appearance mandatory. And it'll give you a date and time to come for court for what's called an arraignment. The arraignment is where a county court judge will advise you of the charges against you, see if there's an offer from the state to resolve your case, see if you've resolved your case. For example, if you're caught driving on a suspended driver's license, for maybe your insurance expired and you got new insurance, and you bring us a copy of your proof of insurance as well as your now valid driver's license, you might have a much better outcome at court. But all those things are going to require you to come to the Orange County Courthouse, or our courthouse in Winter Park, or our courthouse in Ocoee, and it'll be indicated on the ticket, and you'll also get correspondence in the mail as to the date, the time, and the location to be there. It's on you, the citizens of Orange County, to update your address with the clerk's office. The clerk's office and the courts do not chase you down and try and track down your current address. So when you come for an arraignment, we'll advise you of your charges. We'll ask the state, rather, if they have an offer to resolve your case that day, or whether or not you qualify for what's called pretrial diversion on a charge like driving under the influence. If you qualify for diversion or you wish to resolve your case, we can resolve your case that day, enter a plea, set you up on a payment plan, order you to go to driving school, whatever we need to do to get your case resolved that day. If you don't want to resolve your case that day, that's totally fine as well. You have every right to defend your case and to make the state prove their case against you at a trial. If that's the case and you want to do that, we'll ask you whether you plan on hiring a private attorney or whether you plan on having the Office of the Public Defender appointed to represent you. Public defender, you would need to complete an application to make sure you qualify for the appointment of the public defender, and they would assess a $50 fee to you at the end of your case to be lumped in with whatever court costs and fines there are. So there's no money that you have to pay out of pocket at arraignment, unless you want to bring a private attorney to arraignment. Which leads me to my next point. If you're charged with a criminal traffic infraction, it's very good advice, I think, to go talk to a criminal defense attorney. Talk to them, explain to them your situation, get their advice, see what options there are, talk to them about representing you. Very often they're able to file what's called a notice of appearance, enter a plea for you, and waive your appearance at arraignment, and then they'll set your case for a pretrial date. So once you have your arraignment, usually about a month later, you'll have what's called a pretrial date, at which time the judge will hear what's going on, see if there's any new offers, see if there's any new way to resolve your case. And then they'll either set your case for another pretrial date, or they'll set your case for a trial date, either a jury trial or a bench trial, whichever you've requested. Most of the time it's a jury trial. If you're charged with a no valid driver's license, that's another criminal traffic infraction that requires a court appearance. But you're in the process of getting your driver's license, let the judge know. Let us know that you're working on it, what steps you have. Very often your court date is going to be before your appointment at the DMV. And we're flexible. We're willing to work with you because Our interest is making sure that you have your license and that you're not getting into the cycle of constantly having traffic issues or traffic violations. As I mentioned before, the super speeder law is a new law in Florida that requires you to have a court appearance. Also, speeding going over 30 miles an hour requires a court appearance and requires you to appear in person at arraignment, and we'll address your case at that time. Again, you have the option of resolving your case that day, or you can elect to go before a judge at a full evidentiary hearing where the officer comes in and explains what's going on. If the person who receives the citation is under the age of 18, mom, dad, or legal guardian must accompany that minor to court with them for their mandatory court appearance and all future court appearances since they are minors. So that's an overview of the civil traffic infractions and criminal traffic infractions. There are other types, but these are the most common ones that you're going to be confronted with by law enforcement. I would always encourage you, when you're stopped by law enforcement, to be respectful. Treat them with the respect that you would ask to be treated with yourself. Because at the end of the day, when you come before a judge, we're going to ask the officer or trooper or deputy, how was the person's behavior? How were they when you stopped them? Were they compliant? Did they understand? Those weigh into how the judge handles the resolution of your case, or the traffic hearing officer handles the resolution of your case. So what are your options? Let's talk about the civil traffic infractions. You always have the right to pay your ticket in full. Paying in full is an admission of guilt, saying, yes, I understand I did it. I'm guilty. I want to pay my fine and I want to move on. As I said earlier, that sometimes comes with points being assessed to your license. And unfortunately, the clerk's office and the judges are not able to give you legal advice, which is why you probably should consult an attorney and just ask them. There are offices in town that specialize in just traffic citations. You can elect school. That will help keep points off your license. But again, you only get 5 times in your life to elect school on your own and voluntary. And I will tell you, as a sitting judge, if I see that you just went to school voluntarily and you did a 4-hour driving school, and then you come in front of me a few months later with another new traffic ticket, I'm going to think you didn't take driving school serious the first time and probably order you to go back to driving school, and this time do it in person or do a much longer period of time of driving school. So it's one of those things that, you know your situation best, your work situation, your home situation, and what you need to do. The other option is to bring, if you're stopped and issued a civil traffic citation for failure to provide insurance. That's something that can be resolved at the clerk's office. You can bring proof of your insurance, and very often they're able to close your case or dispose of your case then. You also can bring that to your arraignment if it's a criminal traffic, if it's multiple infractions. Usually it's one criminal traffic infraction, like a driving on a suspended license with knowledge, and then something like no proof of registration, no proof of insurance, expired registration. Bring everything that you resolved, because usually we're able to get rid of those cases first and clear those things out, and then deal with the one at hand that needs to be addressed. In a civil traffic infraction, you have every right to request a hearing. You always have a right to request a hearing. Don't let anyone tell you you don't. You can do that virtually, as this presentation is via Zoom. The courthouse uses WebEx. Or you can come down to the Orange County Courthouse, our Winter Park Courthouse, or our Corey Courthouse and have an in-person hearing. But very often, we're able to get those cases resolved virtually with very minimal intrusion into your daily work life. We're sensitive to the fact that you're working, you have a job, and it's hard to get a half day off to come take care of something that only takes 5 minutes in court, which is why we prefer the virtual option for as many of these things as we can. The only thing you can't do virtually is a criminal traffic infraction. That's where you have to come in person to the arraignment. Our arraignments are downtown. We have a morning session and an afternoon session. Then we also have a courthouse in Ocoee and a courthouse in Winter Park, where we address all these cases and we'll take care of them. Winter Park is on Fridays, and Ocoee is on Wednesdays. All right. So often the clerk's office also has what are called Operation Green Lights. Those are special days or weeks throughout the year where the clerk's office can take all of your traffic tickets that you have that may be causing your license to be suspended, maybe causing you not to be able to get your driver's license for whatever reason, and be able to put those all in a payment plan. It's very important to remember, and this just happened to a good friend of mine, that when we clear your license of any past due fines or fees or anything that, or we lift the suspension, that's called what we call a D6, lifting the D6. The clerk's office can lift the D6 suspension, but that does not reinstate your driver's license. You still need to go down to DMV, pay the DMV the $65 re-registration fee, and get your license activated. It's also very important to know that being in possession of a driver's license that's suspended, or being in possession of a driver's license or multiple driver's license, can be a criminal offense. So don't carry two driver's licenses with you. If you have a driver's license from, say, New York and Florida, turn in the New York driver's license or turn in the Florida driver's license. Pick where you're going to live. You can't have two. So that's just a very brief, very quick overview of traffic court from a judge's perspective. Unfortunately, we have a lot of traffic tickets and a lot of traffic infractions that occur in Orange County, just based on the number of people that we have in our tourism. So it's something that we do all the time, and it's something that we do, and it's something that we're also very accommodating in trying to work with you, the citizens of Orange County, in ways to get your license back and help you get back on the road and restore your driving privileges. Because we understand that without a driver's license, it's also very hard to do what you do, to keep your job, to keep a roof over your head. So we're sensitive of that, and we want to make it as easy for you as possible to get in, get out, get your case resolved, get your case adjudicated, and get back on the road. So with that, I will throw it back to Dane. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Judge. We appreciate that. It's always great when we can have somebody from the judiciary actually on these legal forums. It's not often you get to hear from a judge and get some personal information about what it looks like in the courtroom for cases like this. Okay, so for this portion of the webinar, we'll be answering frequently asked questions that we get from the public on a regular basis that maybe ought to help your situation. So we're going to jump right into our questions here. First round of questions. Our first one is, if my license is suspended, but I have never been pulled over, how does this happen? How can it happen? Who would like to help answer that for us?
Well, Dane, I'll take that one for you. Usually when someone's license has been suspended because they have outstanding traffic fines, it's because it's a red light camera citation or toll citations. As I stated earlier, red light camera citations are issued to the registered owner of the vehicle at the time the red light is gone through. The same is true with tolls. So if your e-pass or your SunPass isn't working and you get a toll violation, it doesn't get paid on time, it turns into a citation with us. A lot of people move and don't update their car registrations, so they don't get those tickets in the mail and don't find out about them until they get the suspension license from the state of Florida. But that's not a problem. We can help you with those. You can come into any of our offices. We can give you the options that are available to you. Compliance can even get you on a payment plan and put all citations in one monthly payment.
Okay, great.
One other thing is we can also get that your driver's license reinstated for you here at any of our offices if something like that should happen.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Okay, next question. I took the traffic school, but I completed it late. Will you still accept it?
That's another really good question, Dane. Unfortunately, we are not able to. The state of Florida says no. In order for that late submission to get accepted, you will need to submit an actual written letter to a hearing officer, and you're able to plead your case in the letter as to why it should be accepted. If the hearing officer does make the determination that your school completion can be accepted, we will take it and send it to the state of Florida, so the points would be removed from your license. If it is late, there is also a late fee that's associated with that. So that late fee does need to be paid. And in some circumstances, if you're really late, your license can also get suspended. If that does happen, unfortunately, we can't do anything about waiving the reinstatement fee, but we can help you get your license reinstated.
And how would somebody send a letter into the hearing officer?
That can be done at any of our locations,
Okay.
any of our locations, or through that contact page that we showed you earlier in the presentation.
Okay. And you don't have to necessarily take the traffic school over again.
No, not if you've already taken it and you have the certificate of completion that you're able to provide us along with the letter.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks, Michelle. And so our next frequently asked question, I received a citation for failing to change my address on my driver's license. I've changed it now, so do I still need to pay the citation?
Yeah, you kind of do. Unfortunately, we do ask that if something like that happens, you let us know as soon as possible. But unfortunately, we don't have any control over that. We can help you get it changed here so that that doesn't happen again. But it's always a really good idea, not only to change your address on your driver's license and your vehicle registration, but if you have any any pending traffic fines with us, or if you're on a payment plan, it's always good to provide us with your most current address as well.
Okay, so change of address doesn't matter, still got to pay it.
Unfortunately.
Yep, exactly. All right. Next question. The officer told me if I fixed my headlight, I would not have to pay the citation. Why do I still have to pay?
Because the officer is not a judge. Only the officer can dismiss the ticket, but unless the officer does dismiss the ticket, our hands are tied. As the clerk of court, we are just the keeper of the record. So we do not have any control over dismissing citations. But you do have the option to do the plea of not guilty, which we had previously discussed. That is an option. And at that point, it's up to the hearing officer when you go for your virtual hearing to dismiss the case. Sometimes when the officer gets subpoenaed to appear for that hearing, they'll just go ahead and dismiss it because you've already fixed the issue that they pulled you over for.
Gotcha. Yeah, and so you would file a plea, not guilty plea, but then you have to also file the no contest?
No, you would actually just do a not guilty plea.
Okay.
At that time, our office will subpoena the officer for the hearing. And a lot of times, once the officer sees the citation that he's being subpoenaed for, they'll dismiss it. That does not always happen. That's not a guarantee. But there are some times when that does happen. But you also have a chance to plead your case in front of a hearing officer to let them know you've corrected the issue. And they can make the determination if the case gets dismissed or not.
Okay. Great. Next frequently asked question. I took the driving school, but the amount of my ticket is still the same. Where is my refund?
Ooh, that's a really good question. We do refunds quarterly for taking the traffic school. So we will only cut checks every few months. So it could take a little bit longer to get your refund, but trust me, you will get it. So that's another reason for making sure your address is current in our system, because we actually mail you a physical check for the refund. One thing to keep in mind when taking the traffic school, the refund that you get is for the base fine of the citation, not the full amount of the citation.
Yes, because if you select traffic school, the fee is less, I believe, than if you just pay it. No?
No,
Okay.
no. It's the
Well,
same, it's the same fee, but you do get, I believe it's an 18% reduction on the base fine. So
okay.
if your base fine is $60, you get 18% of that back.
Okay. Good to know. All right. Next frequently asked question, is there a limit to the number of cases you can put on a payment plan? So now we're talking about payment plans.
So I will answer that one. No, there's no limit to how many cases that can be added. You can add all your cases into one payment plan. You can also add any new tickets that you receive after you've had one set up to an existing payment plan.
Okay, so no limit.
Yep.
Okay. Jennifer, thank you. Our next frequently asked question, can your license only be cleared when the entire balance is paid off?
And Dane, I can take that one. No, once you establish payment arrangements with the clerk's office, we will go ahead and clear the suspension. The case does not need to be paid in full.
Okay, Jacqueline, thank you. Our next question, can I reinstate my license in your office?
I will take that one. And yes, you can. If you meet the court requirements and there are no additional holds from other counties, child support, or DMV, we can clear your license with a required DMV fee of $60. In addition, if paid in person, we will clear electronically upon payment. If you do pay via web or AMSCOT, please allow 48 to 72 hours for the license to be cleared.
Okay, Jennifer, thank you. All right, what we talked about earlier, our Operation Greenlight. Do you have to wait for Operation Greenlight to get on a payment plan?
No, you do not. We offer affordable year-round payment plans. We actually encourage our customers to visit us at their earliest convenience so we can take the opportunity to address your cases as quickly as possible.
Okay, great. Yep. Can help you with your case any time of year. You don't need to wait for that event.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so follow up with that. One of the questions we get is why have the last few Operation Greenlight events been a one-day event?
And Dane, to kind of piggyback off what you and Jennifer just discussed, because we now offer affordable year-round payment plans, Operation Greenlight has been established as a one-day event in Orange County for the last couple of years.
Yes, exactly. And again, you don't want to wait till that day because it gets very busy, and we are trying to make sure people understand, the community knows, don't need to wait. And then we can help you. We can always help you at the clerk's office with these cases and with payment plans. Next question, can I get a lower monthly payment?
That's a great question, Dane. Each monthly payment is set at $25 per month, and this rate remains consistent throughout the plan until the plan is paid in full.
Okay. All right, next question. What happens if down the road I can't make the payments? Is my license suspended again?
So if you're experiencing any challenges with your payment plan, please come in at your earliest convenience or contact our office. We would be happy to discuss your options and see how we can assist you to avoid suspension. But please note, if we do not receive your payment by your scheduled due date and you do not contact our office, you're at risk for us to move you forward in the process of suspending your license.
Is there a set time frame after the payment has not been met that before somebody's license may, if I can't make the payment, I didn't make enough money this month, whatever it might be, is there 30 days, 60, what is there a time frame when it would move into a possible suspension again?
Jacqueline, what's our time frame on the suspension?
So it just depends. If you contact our office and explain your hardship, then we can work with you on a case-by-case basis. If you don't contact us and you miss a payment, we notify the Tallahassee or the DMV within 3 to 5, I would say, business days. After that, the DMV will typically give you up to 30 days to rectify the situation. Come to our office, make the payment, or establish some type of payment arrangements, and then we would notify the DHSMV or DMV in real time.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yes, great job answering these questions. I'm actually throwing a couple other questions in there we weren't necessarily ready for, but they come to mind and you just, hey, what about this? Okay. So our next question, does your office have the ability for auto pay, contactless, or Apple Pay currently?
That is a great question, Dane. At this time, we're unable to accept Apple Pay and other similar forms of payment. However, as an organization, we're actively exploring it as a payment option for the future.
Okay, great. Those are all our frequently asked questions. And remember, we have many options when it comes to payments for you. So our website is always the place to go to get further information about all the different payments, options, I should say, way you can make payments and so forth, and more details there. So we do thank you for joining us for this Legal Forum Digest. The Orange County Clerk of Courts, Tiffany Moore Russell, understands the importance of these conversations in our community, and we hope the topics discussed in this webinar were helpful to you. And we do have a big thank you to all of our panelists for joining us today, to Judge Dubois. Thank you for helping us share this information.